everyone, I'm going to discuss the characters in El Filibusterismo, their continuing relevance, and represent current social issues. So before that, let's discuss a short review about the El Filibusterismo. So El Filibusterismo is the sequel of Noli Me Tangere. Sequel means the other half or the part 2, the second novel of Noli Me Tangere, written by Dr. Rizal, written in Spanish language just like Noli Me Tangere. Kapag i-translate natin ang El Filibusterismo into English ay The Reign of Greed, which is dedicated to the three martyr priests na ipinapatay, si Father Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora. The first character is Cabizang Tales. He was a former cabecera de barangay of San Diego, struggling to gain ownership of the land he tilled. He eventually abandoned his family to join a group of bandits. He symbolizes the natives and farmers whose lands were seized by the friars. His story represents the cause of the revolution. In current issues, the people in possession deliberately use their power to take possession of the land of the poor for their own interest, even if it is not in accordance with the law, as long as they have the capacity to buy and acquire the lands. And the people were struggling to gain ownership of their land, and it is why they sided with the rebel group against the government. Placido Penitente, one of the students who asked for educational reforms. In current social issues, students whose intelligent and hardworking in studies were not recognized from those foreign and wealthy ones. Education system in some prestigious universities where favoritism of student advanced social status exists. And he represents the people who have yet to cultivate their nationalistic attitude. Filipinos now are very proud of their nation. Placido Penitente, also known as Silent Suffering. He also represents our overseas Filipino workers who are doing their very best to do job abroad away from their families, sacrificing to provide a brighter future for their children and giving them what they need in every day. Just like him, they suffered in silence. Padre Camora, abusive, easily angered, and aggressive. He desired lustfulness for women. In the current issues, sexual harassment against children and women arises. The rights of the women abused by individuals. Some reported cases, priests were involved in sexual abuse, and assault. Ana Penchang, she is devout but has a rough temperament and an ally of the friars. In current issues, many people have this habit, worships and serves the Church of God, but with a hard heart and cold character. There are dark and hidden desires for personal interest. Prayer does not mean generosity and virtue. It is not said that if a person prays regularly, he has a good habit. Not everyone who is goodly is human, for the gambler hides in the church to pray for luck. Julie, Cabisang Talo's daughter and Basilio's sweetheart. Julie represents the Philippines, which would rather suffer with pride and honor. She would rather sacrifice rather than giving up her ideals. In current social issues, Julie's character relates the death of the frontliners that sacrifice and risk their lives to serve people and the country. Is the great pride and honor for the good of many rather than the good of their own. Sarmon is the main character in Jose Rizal's two El Filibusterismo's novels. He represents the revolutionaries during that time who supported the idea of holding bloody revolt against the Spanish government. Isagani. Isagani is a symbol of the youth whose love for the country is great, to the point of being branded as idealistic. He personified a typical Filipino who is content with living a simple life. Karaig. Macaraig represented the well-to-do Filipino youth during the Spanish era who had good dreams for the country. His character is provided readers a glimpse of how different the rich and the poor were treated during the time in society. Paulita Gomez. Paulita Gomez is a caricature of a woman who chooses the best option for a more stable future. She knows what is best for her and would take advantage of her admirers to get what she wants. Ben Zaib. Ben Zaib, based on him, is the most clever, smart person during his time. He's a writer, but he's not loyal about what he wrote and not true to what he says. He represents those people who are good at disguising themselves, those people who's always minding others' business instead of their own. Tunco Studio. Tunco Studio, who marries a wealthy woman, the reason for rising his status as well. He represents a person who is mapagmalaki or arrogant, hypocrite, and always talking about what they have achieved to feel superior than the other. Father Florentino. Father Florentino is a Filipino priest who wants peace and happiness for his countrymen. He represents the image of hope and peace in the present time, a hope for change and equality that Filipino deserves, and a hope for our society. It was also through his character that the author stressed his disapproval of a bloody revolt. Father Irene. Father Irene is a Spanish priest who is just forced to support the Filipino on building an academy to teach them Spanish language. In the present days, he symbolizes a priest whose the bad deed is in the inside. They are those people who treat other people well, but despite of this, they get their own personal interest. People who have disgusting behavior but acting like a good man on the outside. Importance of these characters from both Jose Rizal's novel No Limitangere and El Filibusterismo. The important characters of Rizal's No Limitangere and El Filibusterismo are socio-political symbols of Rizal's society. That Rizal uses these characters who represent the different sectors of Philippine society as instrument to awaken the Filipino people and to make them realize the importance of taking part either in the peaceful quest for assimilation or in armed uprising for freedom. And these character types from Rizal's society are still recognizable in today's society. That Rizal's beautiful blending of individual and typical character traits makes him an artistic creator of character.
Tuturing na national treasure ang mga lumang kasulatan ng ating pambansang bayaning si Jose Rizal. Pero ang ilan sa mga ito kabilang na ang orihinal na manuscript ng No Limitangere at El Filibusterismo, inaamag na at unti-unting nasisira. Kaya para mapangalagaan isang conservation project ang inilunsad sa pagitan ng Germany at Pilipinas. May report si Cara David.
Ang mga nobelang No Limitangere at El Filibusterismo ang sinasabing naging mitya ng revolusyon. Isinulat ang mga ito noong 1897 at 1891. Ang No Limitangere at El Filibusterismo ang dalawa sa pinakaimportanteng libro sa kasaysayan ng ating bansa. Ang nakikita niyo po dito sa aking tabi ay ang orihinal na manuscript ng No Limitangere. Sulat kamay po mismo yan ni Dr. Jose Rizal. Mahigit 120 years na ang tanda ng naturang manuscript na ito. Isa ito sa mga natitirang tulay natin sa nakaraan, kaya importanteng ito ay pangalagaan. Pero sa kasamaang palad, ilan sa mga pahina ng orihinal na Noli at Fili ay napunit o inaamag na. Sira na rin ang tali sa gilid nito. Mismong si Rizal pa kasi ang nagbind at gumuhit ng mga pahina ng Noli. Sa vault na ito sa National Library nakatago ang original handwritten manuscript ng Noli at Fili. Dapat 18 to 22 degrees Celsius ang lamig sa loob nito para maiwasan ang amag. Pero
We cannot assure that the condition inside is ideal for the manuscripts. Because yung air conditioning system natin hindi stable. It's not 24/7.
So,
After we
nagbabago
close the
yung
vault,
temperature.
yes, it's fluctuating, yes.
Para maiwasan ng tuluyang pagkasira sa Noli at Fili, isang conservation project ang inilunsad sa pagitan ng Germany at Pilipinas. Nagbigay ng 20,000 euros o 2 million pesos ang German government para sa proyektong ito.
The Noli has broken areas, missing parts. It's not a major restoration project.
Naglaan rin ng 2 million pesos ang gobyerno ng Pilipinas para bumili ng bagong storage at conservation equipment. Bukod sa tamang temperatura, importante rin na di masyadong ma-expose sa ilaw ang mga lumang manuscript para di kumupas ang tinta nito. Inaasahang matatapos ang restoration and conservation ng Noli at Fili kasabay ng ika-150th birth anniversary ni Rizal sa Hunyo. Bukod sa Noli at Fili, nakapila rin for restoration and conservation ang diaries, sketches at iba pang manuscripts ni Rizal, ganun din ang mga papeles ng lahat ng mga pagpupulong ng Katipunan. Cara David, GMA News.